Hello and welcome to all my viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. I appreciate you spending this time with me, but also to remind you how beneficial it is for you to incorporate these daily readings, this light knowledge and insight from Source into your own practice, depending on where you are in your journey. At the moment, I am at a bit of a 0 point, an equilibrium where the past, the ego, and all the heaviness that I've been carrying, the trauma that I've been working through, is becoming a reflection of a version of myself that is on a timeline which is at somewhat of a conscious distance from me. I don't want to entertain that version of myself, although in the context of the self, everything holds value. And over time, we have collected these different versions of ourselves, these different identities, as part of the way for the ego to survive through life, for the ego to feel like it has such great importance on the decisions that we make to keep ourselves safe. In this representation of myself, I too have to just give over to you your interpretation, perceptions of me, and whether I am doing my job properly, whether I'm serving you by coming here in this frequency of authenticity, where I am being completely open and transparent, where I'm surrendering the outcome of everything. It's important to not see this openness as a risk for me, to not see it as something that's going to be draining my energy. Because when I come into this state of conscious being, where there is pure love, I cannot allow fear to come through. So when we are analyzing, when we are meditating, and all these messages are coming through to distract us and get our attention, let's try and put some emphasis on what is manipulating these thoughts in the mind. We are more and more being fed with information about disorders. Our minds, our mental space, our brains are under tremendous physical stress because we've been asked to use our head senses, our brain and mind, for way much more than we were originally designed for. We were designed to be in this frequency, holding this restful stillness state, receiving all these messages from Gaia, from the cosmos, from Source, and articulating that into imaginative displays of a life that involved a lot of movement, a lot of cataclysmic expansion and acceleration. Imagine if we have already attained that in past lifetimes. And to renew these experiences and feed more information into Source, we are being asked to come down and have these experiences again. To bring those that need to be elevated in consciousness back. And I think that is where my journey is guiding me towards, the state of homelessness and the value that we've placed on the human life because people don't have a home is bullshit. Where did we come to that? There could be a rich man with absolutely no care in the world for anybody or anything that is going on around him. That conscious being that is on the side of the road, living a very simple life with all his senses, and being very much involved in living with the vibrations of a day, when the sun rises and when the sun falls, and using trees for shade, and sleeping under tarps. Who's got the happiest conscious state of being? This one thinks that he's lacking, but he's probably the most connected. We have to start rewiring these attitudes that have been created by these false identities of consumerism and stuff that we have been told is going to fulfill us, satisfy us. Because we are saturating our mind and we are hurting the outcome of the future of this world by this. Please stop watching video games and stop letting your children watch video games. There are so many simple beginnings to elevate by sharing these messages, by speaking the spoken word, by using this word to fuel us. If we can just get to that 0 point, if we can just get to the beginning of realizing what is not of us, to get us onto a temple path, to get us onto the path where the soul wants to come out of depression, where the mind and the senses and that is coming in through here is not feeding that depression. If we can consciously say we are releasing those false identities and we are going to be transparent with ourselves, start to pray for instruction, for self-development, that the right messages, synchronicities, people, experiences, life is an experience and there's no goal besides loving the self, bringing yourself into blissful union and balance, so that we can attain these gifts that are just waiting to fill our hands with abundance. It's Friday, 14th of August. I've been in a void. I didn't do yesterday's reading. I'm going to do that now. Having seen thy immeasurable form with many mouths and eyes, O mighty armed, with many arms, thighs and feet, with many stomachs and fearful with many teeth, the worlds are terrified and so am I. On seeing thee touching the sky, shining in many colors, with mouths wide open, with large fiery eyes, I am terrified at heart and find neither courage nor peace, O Vishnu. The scene keeps constantly changing, even as the appearance of the universe changes constantly over the unchanging substratum. Good and evil, pleasantness and unpleasantness, beauty and ugliness, are all the attributes which the finite human mind on this ever-changing pattern. However, the difference between the obvious, the manifest, and the unobvious, the unmanifest infinity, is that the obvious is capable of being grasped by the senses or the mind, whereas the unobvious is not. Nonetheless, the finite helplessly tries to delimit the infinite, and the standard way in which it does this is to limit the infinite to a form and stick the label of a name to it. I've just been talking about identities and how we limit ourselves into a construct instead of trying to recreate into a truer, more divine nature with God, our birthright. I'm going to read it again. Nonetheless, the finite helplessly tries to delimit the infinite, and the standard way in which it does this is to limit the infinite to a form and stick the label of a name to it. Then, endeavoring to understand this, the finite once again drapes the infinite with the only apparel it has, dressing and masking. Yes. We've even gone from using images of ourselves to creating nicknames on Facebook and being anonymous and using avatars. It's become extreme. All this information, this intelligence that we've had has been fed into AI already, and now it's time. They can make us dumber. Imagine that. We're using our own intelligence to feed intelligence back to ourselves as we dumbify, as we dumb down and become zombies. Know what you know and hold that truth. Wow. Okay. That is the inevitable fruit of the finite trying to grasp the infinite. The vicious circle is now complete. Having bestowed these attributes on the infinite, the finite trembles before it and weeps aloud. I see this message about the weeping and how much I have purged in tears, wondering if I could bath in my own tears that I've cried since the middle of May. And this time round, it wasn't realizations, it was the complete unburdening of everybody else's burdens I've been carrying. This heavy weight that did not belong to me. As a realized empath, as a super empath, with nowhere really to feel this overflowing love that needs to cycle through us from this matrix environment. It's extremely difficult to purge out properly what is collected from social environments that we're all forced to go to. We don't realize how big that burden has become energetically. I think it's extremely important not just to find a guide, but to find someone that can do body work with you, for you. It's extremely important that we go through these stages being able to feel the shifts and the changes so that the nervous system can align with the soul. Expressions like, oh, it is terrible, it is a catastrophe, it is evil, and so on, issue constantly from the lips of the finite being as the direct result of his original sin of trying to grasp the infinite instead of offering himself to it. It is best to surrender to the ocean, there to swim in bliss and peace. These two verses should stop us from everything or from envying Arjuna's lot. Sages and yogi have had similar, though not identical, cosmic visions. We shall see, towards the conclusion of this chapter, the prerequisite for cosmic vision and the risk of testing our strength by trying to lift a hill. Amen. Thank you for being in this conscious presence with me, and for receiving these messages about our identity. I pray that these words rest gently on the heart space so that we can use the intelligence here. Slowly allow the heart wall to crumble. When we want to bring ourselves into this union, to become conscious, We want to align body, mind, spirit together. And I hope that by me guiding you into this frequency, you will be attuned so that you can do this for yourself on a regular basis. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading today. Please share it with anyone that will resonate with it, and so that we can grow this community together. I appreciate your... I'm going to split today's reading into 2 parts, just to help with the flow of all the messages that were coming through. Sending you so much love, peace, and light.